Now that I've finished the Manchester Marathon, I'm reclaiming the rainbow, by the way, don't judge me. There was a few things I just wanted to say because I felt like they were important somehow. And the first thing was that some people starting the marathon, you look at them, or like, I don't know, 10 miles down the road, and they are obviously in a kind of incredible pain. They are doing something outstanding just by starting. So there's someone, who's bent over, or they clearly can't really use their legs or their hip joints properly or whatever. And yet they're still out there deciding they're going to do a marathon. And I don't doubt for one single second that they finished it. And you look at those people and you go, bloody hell, like compared to anybody else, that's just real bravery right there. The other thing is the humbling effect of being passed by a large golf ball or a man dressed as scissors. And I don't just mean scissors, I mean scissors. I was thinking, what is that up ahead? And it was a man dressed as scissors. And that is a humbling thing when you're passed by gentlemen dressed as scissors or a golf ball, or indeed the gentleman wearing an entire washing machine. He didn't pass me, but even the thought of that just makes me want to vomit on the spot. I wanted to mention 28,000 people, I think, or thereabouts, started the marathon today. And the funny thing is that when you get going, and I'm just there as an individual, just me, and there's other just me's, and then there's people running as couples or as their clubs or whatever. The awesome thing is that the minute you get going, even before that, and it reminds me very much of our side on the road. So people that come to my stand-up or people that come to see me on the road is our side, that side, people running. Doesn't matter what they think or believe. Everybody's in it together. So despite the fact you may come from wherever, and despite the fact you may do that whole run and not talk to a soul, everybody's there with you, for you, wants you to do well, wants you to be happy with yourself, whatever happens. And there's this really cool thing, like if a guy veers off and falls over on the side, people will go and grab him back up, check he's all right, or check that he wants to do that. People will always help you out. And there's something really massive about that. 28,000 strangers who are actually one big gang. I mean, not the people who are running it in 2 hours, because obviously they're lunatics, but the majority of people running it just want you to be all right, them to be all right, and everyone to do well. And that's a very unique and lovely thing. And the organisers did such a brilliant job of getting 28,000 people moving without a single hitch that I could see. Not that I could really see out my eyes by the end, to be honest with you. Very little of me was functioning by the end, including my first fingers. I didn't know even, but neither of them were working. They just didn't have any blood at all. I guess my body just made a decision. No, fuck that. You don't need your first fingers anymore. We're going to focus on your legs. But anyway, took a while before my first fingers came back. That I wanted to say, oh yes, that I have extreme penis jealousy. I mean, I have this a lot because I've always wanted to have a penis for a day, or ideally for sort of like a week. That'd be perfect. I'd like to see what it's like to have one. I'd like to do helicopter willies. Like if I had a penis, I think I'd probably do that, I don't know, every morning as a sort of ceremony before I had my cornflakes. But when you do a run like that, and then all of a sudden you think, oh, it would really help if I had a wee, because your brain plays tricks on you about what would really help. And then everybody with a penis can just to the side, boosh, bosh their penis out, have a wee. No one's bothered, no one's looking, no one cares. But I'm no prude, but if you do, as I did, bosh to the side, drop your whole running gear and get your whole arse out and your pubes, it isn't the same. And I do have penis jealousy from today. I wanted to say a massive hello to lovely Simon from Wales. And it turns out we met on the run. Like I say, I do like to have a chit chat when I'm running. Met a lot of such lovely people today. Thank you to everybody who said hello. Thank you to everyone who cheered out. Thank you to everybody for being just legends. I appreciate you all. But this lovely guy was running ahead of me. And this young boy next to him was just being so, I could feel that he was the son. He must have been 16. He looked like the marathon didn't even touch the sides. Like, it was no big deal. He was so focused on his dad, whom I assumed was his dad. His dad, do you need anything? Yeah, let me get you a drink. He got an energy thing, and he was like, can I open it for you? And Dad didn't want it right then. You know, it was a struggle point, like 23 miles in. That's harsh. But this son was just dedicated to getting his father over the line. And I know he'll have got over the line. And I know that it will have been an amazing thing. And I know also that it will be because of his son that he will have made it. This is you, Simon. You'll know it's you I'm talking about. You're from Wales. And it turns out Simon is coming to my show in Swansea. And we've just had to add another date, actually, because the first one sold out in 24 hours. So we've added another one. It's not about that. It's that behind, as a mum, I was going to have an emotional moment. Mile 23, can be forgiven. Shit yourself, cry, whatever. You just got to, that's okay when you're running. Like, doesn't matter. You could have a full prolapse of the vagina. And guys would be like, do you want me to shove it back in for you? It's just, that's how it is at that point. But as a mum, seeing a son care for his dad in that way, and by care, I mean encourage, support. And I just was like, that is the cycle of life right there. It's going to get me going now. Strange things happen to you when you do endurance stuff. And it turns out that was the son. And he was so proud for his dad. And then his dad was excited because he's coming to the show. But just moments like that in a marathon, that is my moment of the Manchester Marathon, is that son cared so much for his dad. Oh, don't even. And then finally, and I mean this, this is the reason for I thought it would be good to just do a little video. I just wanted to thank all of the kids who stood there with their jelly babies in jars. And then I was trying not to be like, because I love jelly babies and they're so important. Like I believe, I believe in a religious sense that a jelly baby will see me through. But you don't want to like run by, not that I was running at this point, it's like some dinosaur with arthritis, but you don't want to like put your hand in and then like spread it everywhere. So I was trying to take them carefully, but you've lost really, well, like I told you, I've lost the use of my finger. So I was like, I'm epileptic, I can make these jokes. So thank you to all the kids. I don't know how many jelly babies I ate, but it was a shit ton. And also Manchester. People always told me Manchester's a brilliant city and Manchester's a friendly city. And there's nothing like Manchester. If we pull together in Manchester, Manchester's going to look after itself. And I tell you what, today I so felt that. Like, I don't know, 26 point whatever it was in the end. I think maybe 0.4. I think someone maybe have done a bit of a miscalculation. Doesn't matter. Who's counting? Manchester would line the routes, even in the places where, you know, you're out in the middle of friggity nowhere. There's still people there. I heard a lady say to a guy, no, you're not stopping on my watch. I'm going to walk with you. And just the best kind of people. So, I don't know, to Manchester, the people of Manchester, the children with their jelly babies, the organisers, and to everybody here, I think you're brilliant, really. And to anybody out there who's like, well, that's all very well, Katie, but I would never be able to run a marathon, or I'd never want to, or, you know, we've all got things. I would never get in a cold sea, just so you know. Sea swimming, not a chance. And it was actually cold today. I'd much rather run in the heat, but that's a by the by. I would say actually, not in a like, ooh, do sport because you feel so good, because actually, mile 22, I could have probably stabbed myself to death. But I will say, if you're able at some point to just join in something that is like that in some way, maybe a relay thing, maybe a 5K, or maybe like you do park run, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's that sense of well-being and happiness you get from the fact everybody around you just wants you to be okay. And that really chimes with me at the moment, with our side, a side that just wants people to be okay. That's all we want. Literally don't care. You could be taking steroids, you could be taking drugs. You might need to get round it by, I don't know, pissing yourself. You might come from any background. You might have had to steal something to be able to afford your entry ticket. Like, there's no judgy stuff. There's just 28,000 people wanting everyone to be okay. So just a big thank you from me, and thank you to everybody for making it really a super special thing. And if maybe you're feeling like life is bloody hard at the minute, and maybe there's like a 5K or something coming up in your local, or a walk or whatever coming up near you, maybe think about entering it, just to give yourself like another look at life, because it's a brilliant look, and the view will restore your faith in humanity. So thank you very much to everybody in Manchester.